Hi, and welcome to Andy's Room. Today on Andy's Room, we're going to talk about Caroll Spinney. Now, if you don't already know, Caroll Spinney is the amazing puppeteer who plays both Oscar the Grouch and Big Bird on Sesame Street. That's right, kids, Big Bird has a dude in him. And that dude has been playing these two iconic characters from the very first episode of Sesame Street back in 1969. I haven't been watching for quite that long, but ever since I was born in 1977, Sesame Street has been my favorite place to visit. Every day growing up, I could pull the knob on the TV and learn letters, numbers, and how to be a nice person from all my friends on Sesame Street. Now, I loved all the characters on Sesame Street. I would frequently decide to change my name and only answer to the name of my chosen Muppet of the day, leading to memorable family moments, like my father having to look for me in a hardware store by calling out, "Cookie Monster, where are you?" But Big Bird was a little different. For a kid my age, and I think this is true of so many kids who grew up on the show, Big Bird was me. He was innocent, trusting, kind, and very inquisitive. There was a lot Big Bird needed to know. There was a lot I needed to know. Now, sometimes I might have been a little bit more advanced than the bird. After all, I was pretty sure that Abkadefki Jekyllmanopcris Stuvrix's was really just all the letters of the alphabet mushed together. But still, more often than not, Big Bird's questions were my questions. From Big Bird, I learned about sharing and generosity. I learned that you can have friends who are as different from you as a giant canary is from a woolly mammoth thing. I learned that today meets yesterday in a museum. I learned about China, Japan, and other cultures different than my own. I learned that when you are lost, even if you're hiding in a haystack or painted bright blue, the people you care about will keep looking for you no matter what until they find you. I learned that family isn't defined only by the people who are like you. It's made up of all the people you love. And when Gordon taught Big Bird that it didn't matter how Santa got down those skinny little chimneys, when Big Bird fell asleep and didn't even see what may or may not have been Santa Claus, I learned something invaluable. That you don't have to see something. You don't have to have proof to believe. And that when it comes to matters of faith, it's always okay not to have all of the answers. In fact, that's what belief is all about. That's a powerful lesson to learn at 2 years old, but Big Bird taught it to me without me even knowing. And if that isn't a true blue miracle, I don't know what one is. And Oscar, well, who doesn't know a grouch? Who isn't a grouch from time to time? Oscar taught me time and again that you can be grumpy, disgusted, easily annoyed, or into weird stuff, like collecting old boots, tattered newspapers, and partying with a worm and an elephant in a trash can. But that doesn't make you a bad guy. Because Oscar was never a villain. He was just a grouch. And the way everyone else on the street treated him taught me something important too. That even if you don't get along with someone, he or she still matters. Oscar was just as much a part of the neighborhood as everyone else, and nobody ever took away his dignity or his right to be the person that he was. That's something that kids and adults can learn a lot from. So thank you, Caroll Spinney. Thank you for 43 years of Big Bird and Oscar, two of my oldest and dearest friends. Thank you for helping me smile, laugh, and learn my whole life long. You know, when I was a little kid, and my mom had to take my temperature when I was sick, she would stick the glass thermometer under my armpit and tell me that it was my Big Bird feather. I knew it was a thermometer, but still I used to imagine that it would sprout other Big Bird feathers along my arm, and pretty soon I would turn into Big Bird. I don't have a glass thermometer anymore like in the old days, but I do have this digital one. And maybe the technology has advanced far enough by now that it might really work if I imagine hard enough. Let's find out. Ah, 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 ah. Ah, ah. Well, I guess it's a start. Yup, It's a good start. Andy's Room was brought to you today by the letter B, the letter G, and the number 100,000. Please visit the Kickstarter campaign for I Am Big Bird and help fund their documentary about Caroll Spinney and his most famous characters. Thanks!